Tuesday. So you know what time it is, you know what I mean?
Da-da-da-da!
Yes, aye.
Yeah, man, we have Vania Kibui right here at CeaseNSekkle with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Vania, she's actually a policy advocacy specialist.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yes.
And she's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and makes law look fun and appealing. Yeah, man. So, you know, we're going to be talking to you about law. Just before we came in, you were telling us about why did you choose to do law and how come you're not practicing it right now. That's a very interesting part that we want to know from you. So welcome to Empress Divine.
Thank you.
We are celebrating you today and everything that you've been doing. And we just want to know more about it. So the first question we have is, why did you pick to do law and then end up not practicing it?
Okay. This is going to be funny. I chose to do law because I like to know stuff.
Okay.
And being in law school, that's all they have you do.
Yeah.
Know stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the more I got into it, I kind of wanted, there was a different side to it.
Okay.
There's what the law says, but there's the lives people live.
Yeah.
And so it's like, for me, it felt like there was a gap between what I experience in life and what the law really says. So for me, I wanted to be in a field where the law makes sense for people. So that's how I got into public policy.
Okay. And
Yeah.
can you explain to people who don't know what public policy is, what actually you do in public policy?
So public policy is what the government says it's going to do. And then they draft it up in a lot of English, and
Yes.
then they roll it out, and this is a big word, implement it, right? And activate it.
Yeah.
So let's say, I'll give an example. You remember when when this current government, when it was in the first round,
Yeah.
the first
Term.
right? And the president came and said, well, from today on, maternity is free.
Is free, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then the ministry had to go back and now create policies to make that accessible, right?
Okay.
Because now you could say something, but it needs, what does it look like for the person in the healthcare facility? What does it look like for me for a woman who's going to deliver and all of that? So policy makes government happen, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
nothing happens in government without policy.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's why I went into that.
So you've been doing this for about 9 years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
With public policy.
Yeah.
And you've been also dealing with human rights and reproductive health and rights as
Yeah.
well, gender equality and good
Yeah.
governance, right?
Yeah.
So I think we need to ask so many things. So let me
Yes,
first
sir.
of all, sorry, Riddick. So what happens when the government is not actually implementing? We've seen a lot of that. They
Yes.
say a lot of things and then they don't deliver.
Yes.
So in your role, what
Yeah.
would you do if you've made a policy and then the government is not implementing the policy?
So in my role, okay, when the government doesn't do what it's supposed to do, then I get employed. So because my job is, I've been employed by keeping the government accountable. So in every
Okay.
organization I've worked in for the last, say, 9 years, has been about that, whether it was about gender equality, about good governance. And so let me first say that there are very few governments in the world that do everything that
Yeah.
they say they're going to do.
So it's not just Kenya, people.
Yeah.
It's not just Kenya. It's all over the world.
Even the
Yeah.
world.
And so, so for example, let's look at adolescent
Yeah.
health, because I'm a policy advocacy specialist. I work with the youth program. And one of the things we're looking at is like the high rate of teen pregnancies in the country, right? So if we look at the policy, like the most recent policy, it talks about access to youth-friendly services, talks about access to contraceptives, because young people are not trying to plan families. They're
Yes,
trying to,
that's true.
they're trying to live a better life, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So then what advocates like us do is we then work with the government to be like, okay, guys, this is what you promised to do. What's not working?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's one end of working with the government and because you can't have a 360 view on everything.
Yeah.
And so advocates and civil society partners, what we're able to do is bring that on the table. But there's also the demand factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you owe us this,
We need it.
we need it.
give it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. We have Empress Divine Vania Kibui, a policy advocacy specialist, a mad gal, man, with a lot of knowledge. Keep it right here on Empress Divine to hear more from her. And it's the Empress Divine, and we are blessed to have a very special Empress, Vania Kibui, with
Thank
us
you for
today.
having me.
Yes,
You're
sir.
welcome. And we were discussing what she does as a policymaker,
Yeah.
but Riddick, you had a question as well.
Yes, I'd really love to know, like, as a policymaker, what does your day entail from a 9 to 5 when you wake up?
So first, I'm not really a policymaker because nobody voted me into office, and I don't work for government yet.
Okay.
When I get there, I'll let you know.
Policy practitioner.
Yeah.
should I
So
say.
what my day entails? So I work in a really fun youth project, and so my day. You mean like when I get up, like?
Yes.
Okay. So there's this cool 15-minute workout I found. That
Nice.
really helps. They call it metabolic aftershock.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like keto diet. Like
Oh.
I hope it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, and then I'll put together my meals for the day. Like I like doing a smoothie in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I'm a health freak. Like
That's so
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
We are all health freaks
Yeah.
here at Vybes Radio, so
Right.
welcome to the team.
super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cabinet looks crazy. And then I'll drive to work, which is not a crazy drive every day. And then, I work with a team of like 6 people. So the first thing I'll do is check in, I feel like this is boring stuff, but my emails,
Yeah.
and then check in with my team in terms of what do we want to do. We have a lot of brainstorm sessions at the office. And so I think what I like about it is that I never really feel like I have to figure it out by myself.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of what we do needs, you need to make sure you're relevant and kind of get it right.
Yeah.
And know who you're speaking to,
Yeah.
right? Especially when it comes to working with young people. The train moves fast. And so it's like, okay, so I'm working on this policy,
Yeah.
okay, or pushing on this gender-based violence policy,
Yeah.
or family planning or contraceptive policy.
Yeah.
Is it, okay, are young people talking about this? Do they even care? So we have a lot of that where we kind of check in on each other. So my day will usually have some version of that.
Yeah.
And then, because we have a lot of partners in North America, so I'll have
Okay.
a call at some point in my day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's it's a lot of legwork. But then that's office stuff, and then I do a lot of training. So,
You've trained a number of youth advocates
Yeah.
to engage with systems and processes
yeah,
to promote and protect the rights of what?
women and girls.
Women and girls.
Yeah.
For me, that's the most interesting part.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about women empowerment and girl empowerment. So I want to know, so you train these youths.
Yeah.
Can any youth get training, or is there a process to pick the youths?
No, so there's a lot of, as long as you're interested in advocacy, or it's not even advocacy, it's an issue.
Yeah.
Is there something in your community you care about
Yeah.
and you want to change it? We call them change makers. Then we can give you training. Okay, because where I'm working, part of what I've been able to do is work with teams to develop like online trainings that can be accessed on your mobile phone, on your laptop.
Nice.
Those have just been piloted, and now this is more work stuff. But what we're looking at is building solutions that avail this information to any young person anywhere, so that you don't have to know me and you don't have to know our organization. You can get access to information, and it'll help you know, okay, what do I care about? Who cares about it, and who can do something about it? And then how do I reach them? What do they care about? What do they listen to? How do I craft what I want to say to respond to what they care about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you study law?
Here in Kenya.
Yeah.
Catholic University. I was in the first law class batch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, straight out of Kenya, you don't know Empress Divine. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
And
man.
you know, the Empress deals with human rights, reproductive health rights, gender equality, and good governance, you know?
Yeah.
I want to know, like, how do you juggle all that in one? Because it seems to be, like, a lot for me, you know, with the words and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Like, personally, I'm human rights, but then your human rights, your reproductive, like, oh, my Lord, the list goes on.
Yeah. It's actually not different things. So, one thing I've discovered, especially when it comes to training, is that, especially as Africans, there's a certain way that we've come to interact with the law that we don't think that it owes us anything. We feel like the law is to punish us or to keep us in line.
Yeah.
And so when I started looking at the law and the government and policies as one big boat, then it started making sense for everything, because you can't have reproductive health rights if you don't have gender equality. You can't have gender equality if you don't have good governance. So it's all kind of all wrapped up in one. So I've been fortunate enough to get experience through my career that allows me to kind of weave all of that in. And so I don't feel like I have to pick or choose. And so in my career I get to engage with all sorts of people. So you'll have young advocates who are protecting the rights of people living with albinism. Others are young girls living with disabilities. Others are looking at protecting, or if you're infected with HIV, how are you living? You need to live, a full life. If you're a teen mom, what are you doing with that? And I see these are diverse groups, but at the base of it, we all just want to live a great life, and we want a life where you can actually achieve your goals. And so if you look at it as one thing, you're able to
see the bigger picture.
See the bigger picture.
Amazing.
Yes,
we have Vania in the system in the studio, and I'm telling you, she's just giving me a million thoughts. So most definitely keep it locked. We have a very, very powerful Empress in the building. And we have a powerful Empress Rasta with the name of Vania. The Empress went ahead and did law, and then was like, yo, I'm still not fighting for the people enough. And it get into the war, you know what I mean? In the front line. Yes, I. And it's amazing, because to be honest, I wouldn't go to school for 8 years and not get paid like crazy out of it.
But you have to be passionate about what you're doing, Reggae. Like, you went to finance school.
Yeah, I did.
And why aren't you doing finance?
Wasn't passionate enough.
Yes, exactly. Because you're passionate with music, and that's been a story here on Empress Divine, by the way. And Vania was asking, why did we come up with Empress Divine? And I was telling her, because there's so many women and so many amazing stories that are untold, because this woman is not a slay queen, she's not a celebrity, she's not a superstar, so she doesn't get to tell her story. So right here on Empress Divine, we want to celebrate all the women who are doing great things in their respective areas and not getting enough love. So much love for what you're doing, by the way.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Man, a question I have is, you have a lot of experience in state mechanism, departments of health, judiciary, and the National Assembly, right?
Yeah.
These areas have been having their fair share of challenges recently. And what do you think is the optimum solution to the challenges health and the judiciary face?
Wow. Those are two big, the judiciary is an industry by itself, and so is healthcare.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we can talk about the judiciary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I know, from the basic of the basics, when it comes to separating the different arms of government, is protecting the independence, especially of the judiciary. And so creating systems that enable the judiciary to function without fear or favor. And execute the law in the best way that it's been written.
Okay.
So the thing about the Kenyan history is that because that separation of law was it's like you have a pool of water, then you dirty it.
It
was kind of dirtied for a while during, because of our governance experience during previous regimes. What we tried to do with the new constitution was to really create that kind of protection where there's security of tenure, like the Chief Justice doesn't have to worry about who's in office just in case he loses, But there's many other contextual issues now, like, corruption, are you fit for office, and all of that is stuff we've, carried over. So I think right now it's just really about protecting the independence of the judiciary, enabling the judiciary to do what its mandate is, and the financing issue is definitely pointing to that. But then, when you're on the outside, you can only kind of analyze it. You can't say that, whereas there's some actions that infer that if the judiciary is not able to do its job, then its independence is being affected. although there's usually many sides to a story, but that's what it looks like right now, right? Because if you have a body and you don't fund it to do its job, then what are you really doing?
Yes, true, very true.
Yeah, and we have Dennis Munene saying, tell our Empress Divine no justice without finance in our world today.
Yes, sir.
Laws of men, Jassi and Jano. And big her up if she's a Rasta Empress. Tell her justice is needed. Yeah, man. And looking at you now, you have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And, here at VybezRadio, we're all about that natural dread hair as well.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, what do they symbolize for you on a personal level?
Wow. Freedom.
Just to be able, because for me, I'm looking at you with your locks in the corridors of, Babylon.
Yeah, man.
And I wonder, do you get funny looks because of your hair? Do people judge you in a certain way, even though you did study law and decided to have this hair?
Yeah.
Does it really affect how they look at you?
Yeah. It's funny. It starts from home, right? So,
Yes.
shout out to my mom. I know she's listening. But she came to accept that you can actually keep a job and have locks.
Yeah.
So it's because it's the same thing with reggae. Like if you listen to reggae, you're probably an outlaw.
Yeah.
And you don't understand systems and all of that. But it's the most conscious music
Yeah.
True.
I have ever come across, right? It settles your soul.
Yeah.
So yes, you do get looks. There's especially because I work in the human rights field, there's an expectation, because many of us in the human rights field have locks.
Have locks, true.
But also they're like, you're an activist. I've met guys who ask me,
You're a rebel.
Yeah. You know, some guys are like, are you clean? I'm like, I don't know why you imagine babes that have locks aren't clean. So there's that. Or, guys are like, oh, I've actually not interacted closely with somebody with locks. And I find that very
weird.
Yeah.
In this day and time.
Yeah. Right.
Man. So they symbolize freedom for you. And you see, the Empress told us, wase umangalia vibaya, but she no care about that because dread, she a dread, and positive, she a positive. You don't know. And yes, it is Empress Divine, and we have been talking to the lovely, lovely Vania, and she's been schooling us on something about policy making, right?
Yes, I.
Yeah, man. So big up on yourself, Vania, for coming on the show, by the way.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me, and shout out to my girl
having time.
Ooh, shout out to who? Say it loud.
Bet.
Yeah, definitely. Big up Monique,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
man.
I.
And we want to ask you something. So, do you love reggae music?
I was raised on reggae music.
Really? That is amazing. So
Yeah.
you are a conscious Empress. And what's your favorite reggae artist?
Oh, that's hard. Well, I love. Okay, so I love Conscience.
Okay.
Not Conscience. Sorry. Chronics.
Chronics, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I went that side.
Dance.
And I was like, no, that's a different neighborhood. Because I love Chronics.
Yeah.
And I grew up listening to Luciano. And my daddy would play me Peter Tosh as I waited for the school bus.
That's so amazing.
Yeah,
So you are a reggae gal.
Yes, I.
Yeah, man, that's nice. And also we want to know, did you feel the vibes today, Empress Divine?
I felt the vibes today.
Yeah.
I felt so chill today. This is good vibes.
Yes, I.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, such good vibes.
Yeah, man, and you have a shout out from Timothy Kipto who says, greet Empress Divine, blessed is she.
Yeah, man.
And then Jemo Zigi Mtenge says, big up Empress Divine, uko fine tu sana.
Oh, thank you.
And that brings us to a question Riddick always asks every Empress.
Yes, I. As a lioness, where the lion there?
Should I leave now?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
all right.
yet.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But as a lioness, where is the lion?
He's searching and he will find me.
Yay!
Yeah, man.
Of
Yes,
course,
sir.
that's a big one.
Like you said, you do some trainings, right?
Yeah.
If one wanted to get into it, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, so you can reach
Social
out to me
media?
on Twitter,
Yeah.
at Vania Kiki27. Just DM me if you're interested in, knowing what you can do to engage your government systems.
Yeah.
We'll help you. We'll connect you to resources, and maybe even policymakers that are already doing stuff in your community. So reach out, let us know what you're doing.
Okay, so they can find you on Twitter. Can you repeat the handle, please?
At Vania Kiki27. VaniaKiki27.
Yeah, man. And we just want to say thank you so much for sharing your amazing story. Yeah. What is your last message for every Empress out there who wants to follow their dream maybe and is not so sure about themselves right now?
You know what, honey? Start where you are.
Amazing.
Keep your feet on the ground. Start where you are.
That's right. Yeah, man, you know, we've had Vania in the studio, and you know, she's a stepping razor rasta. She chaza na wembe meka inaweza kukata rasta.